So I think I don't feel that too hard to say. It's just 7 minutes after 8. Mr. Bernard Mornah Abekamensa, former chair of PNC, Ayenino AD and Komo Anape. Mr. Mornah, good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Ishong.
Nah, I don't deserve to pay.
I won't buy Bonti, Nyame, Eddie Achame.
You share Joe?
Say from Latebio Kwashi.
And Asalam down.
Frame Emba show that.
Oh, Mr. Mornah,
social media,
Mr. Mornah. Some is some social media.
I'm so baby, and
some is some show, honum. See, our farming now, you know, say, see, the goods, you say, me, you.
I don't do good, but me a sheep and a kettle.
And I don't know, almost so come out.
But my principle is that I don't bring it to you, you come for.
It's remember all the way to the place, and I say,
what is your definition of all the way?
Bernard, I said, Bernard, I was ordering mission on the pen. Did me, because I mean, bra, mean, chiambra, a ho. And I said, VIP, Baba.
That be media mean to me in fat and money. But obey to me, Abefa. Whatever you want. So, pay so ya been obey to me, Abefa. So, pay bra, obey to me, Abefa. So, pay Akukwa. So, pay even Nigeria, or dear bra. But say, mum dear, I should pick it from the farm and bring it to you. That be, and dear me here.
You and you, my pro cousin Bako, now Wafa Bako, Edia to care with the abre.
That be so, no buffer the abre, dear, but me, mum dear, I will not participate in that process. Because I want you to come to the farm. And purpose that it should serve as an encouragement for you. So, who was Sika? Who was Sika? And to wait to me, who was Sika? And what I've noticed is that through the farming, a lot of people down there, down the stream, they are getting something small to support themselves and their whole household. And so what I do is that come and see a farm, because I went to Mr. Boama's farm, I went to Port Office farm, I went to Samuel Ahumuza in Uganda, his farm, and I monitored a number of them, and I see the number of people they have engaged, whilst they also enjoy freshness. No, and I'm so me do some.
I will do some.
How many acres do you want?
Oh, except for now, they may young startup business. May start with maybe 4 acres.
Oh, my 4 acres. Even me, I have 1,000 acres.
You're a rich man.
No, even me, I have 1,000 acres. I didn't say I've cultivated 1,000 acres. Even I have 1,000 acres, and I've cultivated about 200 acres. So you can do more.
Wow.
That is in my property.
Were you doing this as a party chair?
Oh yeah, I've been doing farming for, let me say, as an infant. Now but I started my farm, this current farm, about 11 years ago.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
But nice. I never got the chance, say, meeting me na my Yejuma Baby to say this time how I go to the community, engage with them, because when say Yejuma no also.
Yeah.
But now I get time, I go home.
Do you enjoy farming?
Absolutely fantastic. Say, but from the post, you can see that I enjoy it. Particularly, say, me well, ponko. And it's deliberate. We have about 11 horses on the farm. And so when you come around and we have to do a farm tour, so some of them are so tame that as a first timer you can sit on it. And in fact, when you sit on some of the horses, 2 of them, without any direction, they will take you on a farm tour.
Wow.
Yes. And so the horses themselves will take you on a farm tour. Aside that, Master Okohu Ebro, Ukohun soya bean, Ukohun cashew, Ukohun kube, and abe. And then we have decided to test run coffee on the land. And they are doing well. And luckily, we have been able to sink some boreholes and mechanize them. So in Suosu, so when you go there and then you get food to eat, there is freshness, you see. Then there's wildlife. You see deers, antelopes and what have you coming across your farm. If you are
a nature-loving person, you cannot resist it. You have to be there, and it's serving as more or less a weekend rendezvous. Most of the young people in Wa. But is it profitable farming?
First, you get personal satisfaction.
Okay.
Second, you see say community no awo no mma dodoa wo ho, some of them are widows. They have only their kids left. No husband or man to support them. Not through your farm, they are able to get some 15 cedis a day. And then they are able to take care of the family. It's profitable. What do you say? Aside that, depending on how you do your management, because we are doing conservation agriculture. So normally after the first year of plowing and harrowing and all the things, clearing of the land, second, third year, you don't use the tractor to go into the soil any longer. You just use a ripper, rip through, then you plant. So the cost of production also etimi back from, because you are no more going through tractor services as it until you get some profit. The only disadvantage is that water to sustain the farm all year round is absent. Roads leading to the farm, very deplorable. 3, where I sit, ma koye me soya bean, na ma tom soya bean na di amao. Utimi ko yi milk efi soya bean mu. Utimi yi enku oil efi soya bean mu. You get soya bean cake, and above all, you get poultry feed. And so we should have capacity, say we'll be able to process it, so that all these benefits accruing from the soya bean will come to the farmer and not go to some other person. And this is the area of support I need from you.
Now, in making the point to say, you know, what harvest every and the amount of money you would spend. Now, to say last week, in the last 2 years, to say torrential rains, you know, has caused so much devastation in the region now. What was the experience? What was the feedback you got from Woma? You know, maybe doing, you know, peasant farming now. Ensure say Womonoma, these widows who may be doing their small backyard farming. What was the experience?
Me and Kasano, me know I can say about 24 acres of my maize is locked in water. And I will be in him say a bro and pay will be.
Yeah.
So if the water is soaked in water, and for the past 5-6 days now, the maize cannot breathe properly because they are saturated, they can't absorb the water. They start turning yellowish. Then they'll get stunted growth. You get zero harvest from it. At that point, it's difficult for you to leach the water.
Yeah.
You need heavy leaching, but you are not able because 24 acres and that form.
Yeah.
And so that is what we are experiencing. The regional crop officer at the Mofa in Wa, Ono ne farm Ewogoli. 2 dams went and then they broke their banks, and they just wiped his entire farm. If you go there now, you think that is a lorry park.
Wow.
In Sono Asasa Bibia Ediako. And so you are not able to. Nipa bebre so omo crops edru a leveler. They need to do some fertilizer application or manuring. But Sono ate kwaino nti untime enkofum. There's no way you can go. In fact, you risk your life if you want to go there. So when you are not able to go there to do the needed application at the right time, naturally say all your effort has been in vain. And so many factors inhibit the process. And I'm not sure this year we should be expecting such a massive harvest, because if farmlands are washed away, our farm is soaked in water, and therefore we do not expect any harvest on that plot. Sorry. And then many people cannot get to their farms because quine ni hobium, and so no ase quine. And baby akrampa utumikono me utumi ho say throughout baby ayakwa our car can get stuck about 4 times on the way. We use about 3-4 cars because we have to convey nipa no munkoye juma or efum. And then all these cars get stuck on the way. When pump tech or mobile solar mechanization of some of our boreholes, then we got there, we got stuck, and we had to work with nipa bia on Nanteda for 7 kilometers into the farm, and then 7 kilometers back to where the vehicle could not move further. So when you know are challenges confronting particularly rural farmers.
We are satisfied with the kind of assistance and interventions our government here when your people were badly hit by a torrential rains? No?
I mean to me, I'm satisfied. Their support is on the way, but in the current moment, even Minister for Rosa Obaya and Okase government, President Akufo-Addo has identified that this should be priority concerns in Kwaina and Sona up to date, the roads are not fixed.
But are there machines moving?
They have moved machines there, and Ubetimen will say the way the road was when the water was able to sweep it is the same way they are rebuilding it. Because Ukodru Goruyiri Edi Konadoli, you need a bridge, no more a culvert.
Yeah. Because
culverts no ena in Sono Entimi anchor. So you need a bridge so that the water will just come under. But you are still doing culverts things. So at the end of the day, no, with heavy rains, the road will cut again. If you go to Wahabo area, they are still doing culverts. If you go to the Babli zone, they are still doing culverts. So under the circumstances, it appears that doing culverts, which in my opinion, they are prefabs. Ultimate sister time now they are called the government is doing some other things. In a few months, we will be out of the rains. Now, government bet me but at the end of the day, no, it doesn't have a long-lasting effect. That is one. Number two, as I said, even the regional crops officer, I mean, of course, make us a regional crops officer in the Upper West, Obia Enim. Yeah. His entire farm has been washed away. He has done enormous investment, under the circumstances, within the National Disaster Organization, say Omo Emba, then they can see what assistance they can offer him, so that it doesn't serve as a disincentive, say next year onko enkoye fumbio. But you can meet him halfway, and own him the number of acreages he has done, and everybody will know if I do 20 acres. And I have to do fertilizer application. You know what quantity of fertilizer I have to do, because per acre of maize you need two bags of fertilizer. In fact, in all 4, because 2. But you say 2 at the first 2 weeks and 2 at the until when you know to me. So you can do an estimate and probably meet him halfway, so that on also Ebetimen who said there is some support on the way coming. I'm not sure that has been done. The Ministry of Agric is yet to visit these communities, particularly if Minister for Roads have visited, then the Minister for Agric also need to visit to see which farmlands are heavily affected and whether there is any incentive or compensation of some sort to give to them. Maybe some reassurance, the ministry and the government are in the know, say, Niaoyano was coming to support the industry. Because if you are doing maize, and you are doing soya, certainly you are coming to support the growth of the animal industry. Yeah. And you are also coming to support Yedi Banku, Etu, NABB industry, because so once you are hit heavily and you don't have capacity, say, you go back to the land and you are not supported. Once somebody will say discouragement will set in. Now, how?
Yenin komo emfa some national issues and just quickly before we go to the national issues now, I will ask a very important question I've been asking myself. We know you to be a seasoned politician over the years, but Mornah is known everywhere. I've always been asking a question, why is it politicians, you find them not working per se, but sitting down waiting for their governments to come back before they are given positions, and then they take them, and then all they are doing is that they are politicians. But you are a politician, and at the same time, you are a farmer. That ideal situation, or that idea, is it possible? Is it feasible?
Oh, I'm not sure, say, my Vice Chancellor, Professor D.D. Kupole of the University of Cape Coast. By the way, Unim say University of Cape Coast is the best university in West Africa. Unim says the best university in West Africa, and it is supported by the University of Casford. What you say? So you must recognize, said the University of Cape Coast is the best university, not in Ghana, in West Africa. Don't hide that story. Who say na abedu. Oh yeah, he's actually exporting banana, and you know they share boundaries with Burkina Faso. So most of their produce don't even come to Ghana, because from that far end of Ghana towards Hamile, it's easier to cross into Burkina Faso to sell than to bring it to Accra to come and sell, or to Kumasi. So what you say? Some of them, and I do know that Professor Ziam, who is also the Dean of Medical School in Navrongo, has a heavy farm in the Upper West region. I do know that Martin Derry, Ambrose Derry's kid brother, is into heavy farming in the Upper West region. A number of them, I have my own reasons, because farming supported my upbringing, it supported my education, because of farming, because farming supported, paid my school fees and what have you. And so I thought that, as I keep saying, farming is my first and natural profession. That is one. Any other profession is second, third, or fourth, but farming is number one. And say me papa mo na omon call school, omon tunia mamwase, na omutimi ye fum, na omutimi edi ahweme. Na my call school na mitimi kaina, I can read and understand some farming methods and way of doing better farming. Na mitimi anko fuma, then I would have been a disappointment to my parents, and so that is one. Number two, when say qualifications may war, whether it is in school or in whatever I have acquired, none of the qualifications will be inherited by my children. In fact, none na me call Akufo-Addo a year. When I took the funeral booklet, and I saw the degrees, doctorate, awards, they will not ask any of the children of Kofi-Annan, say, Papa degrees no nakoye. And Kofi-Annan died with all his qualifications and expertise. They will not say Kofi-Annan go and do it. And you have to start to think of Bibia also betimi na edaho Emma Chimano. And that is what I thought that, look, me buy and sell. I cannot venture into estates. I cannot venture into some other things. So I should venture into farming, where on my death, those coming after me can have something to go and look at. The third thing is that I retirement. And in going on retirement, there will be other vibrant young people with very current ways of managing the affairs of this nation. Or they should come and contribute their quota. Invariably, I have to look for. In fact, Madam for 4 crampo, so socialization begin to diminish. And so I looked at which way I can still have people around me. And I thought that having a farm worthy of a farm, at all points in time, you have people with you working in the farm. And so you will get interaction. And so you will feel part of society. And so I chose to go and ensure that the farm is put in a better shape. And above all, a better tourist place. You will come there. The Minister for Trade will come there. The Minister for Tourism will come there. And above all, the Minister for Agriculture will come there. So one show here, because the President key ministers are coming to see a farm with all the tourist attraction, the President himself will come. And that will serve as a boost to the community and open up the community. So right. I think that this is my view. Right. And that in going on retirement, I should have a farm to stay on. And that is why my greatest mentor, mentor, which is Mr. Joseph Boama, former Chief Director of the Ministry of Agriculture. He is on retirement. He has packed bag and baggage from Accra. He has houses in Accra, but he is living on the farm. So weekends, if you have time, and I'm sure that it will serve as an inspiration. Don't forget the Danyame farms. That's Port Office Farm. I've been there too a couple of times, and I can tell you that there is joy in doing farming if you know the kind of farms that these people have, then you have to do some.
Now, 4 years on, the Akufo administration, your normal mandate, how would you describe their efforts in terms of infrastructure, in terms of the fight against corruption, in terms of the governance? How would you describe Akufo-Addo 4 years on, the first tenure?
I think that I've said this repeatedly, that Nkami examiner Mema Akufo-Addo 3/10.
3/10.
3/10. No. In other words, 30/100. That is 30%. You are brought into government in order to change things from the old. And until na yede ebamo. Until say oba na things remain the same. There is no transformation. It is the same lethargic way of doing things. Then your worth as a president is very minimal. And or for the past 2 weeks, I've been crying because the security agencies say they have opened up for recruitment. Brilliant idea. So many young people are rushing to go and buy forms. The government of Ghana has given the security agencies all the money. No security agency is a private one. They are all under government support. So government support them. And government is the one that says that Monko, government again is charging these poor people that by its own failure, no, when Timi Amma Omo Ejuma on completion. Nipa duduwa no at their lineup and then me soon here, because after I went to do my usual training at Elwak Sports Stadium, I saw some people hanging at the corners. And I asked, because I came back to Accra, and I asked, and why am I coffee? And then I was told by my team that they have come for the military enlistment and examination. And so they don't have any place to stay, and this is where they are sleeping. This is where they are sleeping. They are sleeping there so rough. And if you doubt me, I think today they are writing exam at Burma Hall. If they will continue tomorrow, go to me, that is the Elwak Sports Stadium, and go and see for our camera the young people who are desperate. In their desperation, they can't go and find, probably they don't know anybody to go and stay with. So me, I carried 3 of them to my home yesterday. You understand? So that is the condition. Jobs, non-existent. But that is not the major concern. Security has moved away from huge numbers. Security is about technology and intelligence. So if you come and say you need more numbers into the security services, you have lost the script. In our barracks, we have the engineer regiment. What have we been able to do to tool the engineers regiment? Say, Omobetimi, I use their engineer ingenuity to manufacture some military armaments that will be exclusive to us, and not that the ones we go out there to buy. Because engineers must think about manufacturing and producing. It is not for repairing of vehicles and what have you. And so when you have your security and they have the engineers regiment, and the engineers regiment cannot produce anything that is exclusive for their own use and defense. Okotofi America already have the, as somebody would say, they have the password to it. So omunim what you have bought from there. Okotofri Russia, they know what you have. Okotofri Croatia, they know what you have. And so therefore, you are no more secured, because you are buying from people, and the people, they are manufacturing, so they know and well versed. That is what has happened to the Taliban in Afghanistan. Americans were leaving, they left a lot of planes and helicopters. The Taliban went and they realized that they have been demobilized. They can't use them. So in similar vein, yes, it is good to and do the enlistment. or enrollment, whatever you call it. But it is also important to think outside the box that, look, the engineer regiments that we have, the raison d'etre for their existence is that they should generate something of engineering, your friend saying sophistication. We don't do that. Then you put these people, you are charging them money. Money for what? The government of Ghana is eliciting money because the security services are agents of the government. So government of Ghana is eliciting money, extorting money from these poor people. You know that you are going to probably employ 600 or enlist 600 people. Yet over 5,000 people have bought the forms. When you don't qualify them, you don't return their money to. In fact, Edimu go to take the form, just on the computer, they are told disqualified. Because either by age difference, or by height difference, or by some other qualification, they will disqualify them, yet they have paid money to you. You are a thief. You are a thief because you are extorting money from people, and yet you are not giving them the service. If I come to buy water, you give me water. I have paid for water. But I come, you give me a form. I want to join the police. I want to join the army. You have taken my money and you don't enlist me, and you ask me to go home. But
there's no automatic enlistment.
And that is why
their requirements.
In order to even diminish corruption, because me and Mako Pebisia, Maba Akoto form, Mabeda 37 Elwak, I have to feed myself. And then you enlist me into the security agencies and you want sincere service from me. I went to borrow money to be able to go through this. And then when I eventually become a police officer and I'm taking my 1 city on the way, then society is saying that, now more police force, so aden, yetuamoka. You know the trauma that these people went in. And when they even go there, some officers are still there trying to extort from them because they went through some difficulties. So they will extort from them in order to push them through. So you cannot get a security agency or agencies that would deliver through service to the people of this nation.
Mendoba other areas in terms of the assessment of the Akufo administration, but on the matter of the military that you are speaking about, what's your reaction to the recent style of using military in operations that usually would have been conducted by the police, since they have that civilian? What's your reaction to that?
The former IGP, Patrick Watting, my very good friend though, because we met at several conferences in Abuja, in Uganda, and many other places. And Niaokanye, you want to create a special force, a national reserve. You talk about it. You don't do any training. Opese Onfa Army to come and do internal security. But you have not trained the army in such a way that this special force can come and fit well into the internal security frame. What have you done? You've done zero. Number two, the army generally is for external aid. When you bring the army, ab initio, you are introducing shoot to kill. And so when the army just steps in the situation, they know that the situation is getting out of hand, and therefore the only way they can stop it is to shoot to kill. You have not trained them in such a manner that they will be able to know how to deal with civilian situation. The police too are not well equipped, or because of the way the police itself has conducted itself over the past, citizens' respect in the police has diminished. So when you see a police officer, oh, munjamo. But say who nipa or she soldier uniform, hey, omaba, mema no abafie. Na omu okurum. As soon as you see the soldiers, people will begin to scatter because they know that as for Bongo boys, they don't joke. What you say? So it is the duty of the national security to train these people such a way that they fear that people have in their uniform. When they come, they will use that to control crowd and not to kill the people. It is our right as Ghanaians to say, "Yebetimi akọ demonstration." Yeah, demonstration and Namakotam soldiers. No, Mabe Kunya. In the case of Yefro Hossein, Binya Kaka Owuya, look at the circumstances of Owuya. And a Nipa Dudua almost sorry and Omoka say, we are unhappy about the death into a core demonstration in sympathy of our slain brother. Dear Nekosia, you took soldiers to go and prevent the demonstrators, and eventually you killed them. If citizens cannot demonstrate their unhappiness to our government, we should go and demonstrate it to whom? And if our government is now afraid of its citizens, then it means that the government is not worthy. Because if a government, the people that voted for you, you are now scared of them, Master, you are not a government. So it is important that the manner in which security agencies or more conducted or more and no to me add a little bit of confidence. But if you start killing me, Master, I also look for a gun. If I don't have a gun, as for bow and arrow, I will go and pick one, and I know how to shoot a bow and arrow. So I will not come out with a gun. I will use my bow and arrow. As you shoot your gun, I'll also target you and shoot with my bow and arrow. People will begin to take their own security into their own hands. And as for you journalists and what have happened to you, the least said about it, international journalists who come here on the highways, and so all of us are at risk in the hands of President Akufo-Addo.
Now, let me ask about the fight against corruption. Do you see a commitment to fight corruption in this administration, the past 4 years that they've been in power?
Yes, I see zero commitment.
Zero commitment?
Zero commitment.
How so?
Give me one single attempt by President Akufo-Addo. Say, in semi naba, and a nipa yiso na omode nsem no ato. Inti meyi nedi, kotenase. Give me one. The president himself has become a clearinghouse. He will set up a committee from the presidency to invest somebody that the presidency himself has appointed. And the person have friends and cronies within. And so friends and cronies will come and discharge the person to go. Australia scandal, Seokaya. Omose Pius Enam Hajide was a deputy minister. His minister was not held liable. Or no deputy minister was held liable. Temporary. Almost year investigations. Almost year investigations, President announced at the Akufo-Addo conference. Maybe Omoko yi John Bedumo as national officers. He announced there that Pius has been cleared. And that the committee has come up with a report and that Pius will be reinstated. Indeed, Pius was reinstated. But was there a scandal in Australia? There was. And so if Pius is not the one who was involved or led the scandal, and you are exonerating him, who was the one that is involved? Except to say that President Kachire said the Australia scandal didn't occur.
But sir, Utie president, when it comes to these scandals, he makes the point that all of them got investigated.
By who? I'm saying that, me see, between me no, my horse stick is missing. Now you see one wafa. At the end of the day, no, it turned out that investigations now prove say enya one of fire. So they are leaving you. Who picked it? Because the thing cannot still be found. So if Pius is not culpable under the circumstances, and I'm not suggesting that he did any wrong, so who were those who caused the magnitude of scandal that tend to tarnish the image of Ghana in such international manner? We have not found one. Bought 5 million contaminated oil. A company was formed after that company had been given the award of a contract. And basic thing in administration. Answer, you even tender for anything. You submit your qualification. And yes, sir.
Yeah.
You have to submit your business registration, commencement of business, your VAT certificate, your bid security. Bibia utimi etro. So those are the basic requirements. How come that a company that was yet to receive registration was given a contract before it went to the Registrar General to go and do that? At the end of the day, the man in charge was sponsored to go and contest elections, and he's now an MP. And yes, sir. Recently, Sputnik V vaccine, and the minister admitted to lying to Parliament. President said this minister has gone through so much trauma of late, and that people has disturbed the minister. There was corruption. Minister Nankasa admitted that, look, Adiano, they advertised $10 on their website. The minister said that they negotiated from 25 per Sputnik V to $19. At the end of the day, Kasano, they said that they have reduced the price. They said no amount of money was paid, not knowing that they paid 50%. And no, President is keeping quiet. President said, no, refund the money. Parliament asked that the money should be refunded. The same day we are told that the money has been refunded into Young Cottonase. This is Parliament, this is ministers. And you are expecting other Ghanaians who are in capacity to also hold government money, that they will not steal it. We will steal it and go and use it to transact business. When we finish transacting our business, and who say you will tell us to refund it, and we'll refund the money. But the benefits of the money will not return to the government. We would have used. Just imagine this day now where you see over $2 to $2.5 million. Just invest it in treasury bills for 10 days and see how much you get. So what you say? Well, so when the minister is now being supported, and then the Minister for Finance come and say that, oh, don't forget that this minister is no more stable because, or no, on say he suffered COVID-19, so it has affected him. I am not saying so. If the Minister for Finance can come and confirm that the Minister for Health's mental stability is in doubt, and the Constitution says that you must be of sound mind to be appointed a minister, and the minister is still in office, and President and his cousin, the Minister of Finance, are aware that the Minister of Health, his mental stability is in doubt, and he's still in government, then it will tell you the kind of government that we have.
Your time now, I carry just 5 minutes. Maybe about the turmoil in the PNC. You guys have been making the news throughout last week, and there seems to be confusion. Even your tenure, when you were chairman.
Producer, say Enyumi Irama Badu Nenyum na obo say kum na maye
kum. But does it surprise you about the turmoil in your party? Does it surprise you?
I am saddened and heavily inflicted with pain that when I thought that it was because of me that the PNC suffered all the difficulties, and that after I've left office, we should see sanity in my party so that the party will become more attractive, more visible, more heard on positive issues and contributing to the national discourse. Baby Ayebe Senior, I am unable to take side because I'm supposed to be one of the elders, whether recognized or unrecognized. And when the time comes, I should sit down with the party leadership to tell them where all are wrong and where all are right. Na yentimi mhwem. Entina mika se mumbo irama nyumno. Konkum na maye emame.
Now, there's a perception that the PNC is under the influence of either the NDC or the NPP. That perception, do you think it's true?
As for perceptions, you cannot take minority high. You have your nose, I have my nose. So I cannot take your nose away from.
But is it the case that these smaller parties are being controlled by the NPP and the NDC?
Let me say, in this country, there are two issues. Or, I'm trying to say, this water is either upside down or upright up. And yes, sir. And so There's no other way. So, the national issue ba, we have to look at it either from the positive or the negative. So Bernard Mornah na me kasa. And given my orientation and my belief and understanding, I am a development economist. I am a proud Nkrumahis. I want to see the entire society benefit than a few individuals. When I'm to speak on the issue, I'll be speaking with the lenses of a socialist person. The MPP that is a capitalist person will not find favor in the things that I say. And therefore, they will say that Ompe Yasem. And typical of you, because they say that Bernard Mornah Mpe Omasem no. Meanwhile, majority of them are my friends. In fact, my family, majority of them are MPP. Nyankasa, the person that comes directly after me, Professor Dekomune.
Yeah.
He is MPP. He comes directly after me, the same father, the same mother. And so the DCE for Nadoli Kelly, when we go to Sankana, we share the same house. She is MPP. And so sometimes when I have to speak the way I speak, as soon as I finish, I'll start getting calls. I hope today they don't call me. Why are you speaking this of our party? But I'm a socialist-minded person. In Timika say we are no. Instead of saying that the PNC former chairman or the political activists have said it, they will start saying that, oh, Bernard Mornah Wakasama NDC. Alternatively, if I sit here and I condemn the things that NDC are here, then NDC people will say, unim Bernard Mornah Wakasama MPP. And so it is the figment of people that once you don't speak for MPP, it means that you are NDC. And once you don't speak for NDC, it means you are MPP. And this has even been compounded by the nature of parliament that we have. Oko parliament, we have two sides, majority and minority. And so far, majority is either MPP or NDC. Into Oko parliament now, you are compelled to sit with NDC or MPP, even when you are an independent candidate. So you have to choose a side. When you choose a side and go and sit with MPP, or your MPP. When you choose a side and go and sit with NDC, or more your NDC for. So how do you want me to respond to this? So let them keep their opinions. I have been a PNC from the year 2000. I became the student leader of the party, and I actually formed the students' wing of the party. I became the national youth organizer of the party. I became the first elected general secretary of the party. I became national chairman of the party. I have become ex-national chairman of the party. I am still a PNC member.
Bernard, is there a likelihood, this is under 30 seconds, that you bounce back, into, the political scene, be it member of parliament in Alpeso and Nase, to take charge of your party under 30 seconds?
There's no doubt that I'm a political being, and I never give up in my political pursuit. But we are still in consultation as to how, because I have some godfathers, I have some veterans, I have some army generals who advise me. And so I take pieces of advice from all of them. So maybe a number of them called me so that we can take a decision. So when we finish taking the decision, certainly you will hear.
That's